Chia of the Kipper system. And this is talking about our feelings about the state of the world every day until deep healing happens. Day 1. This is a series that we have decided to start because we have a burning desire to see this world heal and thrive, and to be one of joy and love and care. And unfortunately, the world we see today is full of all kinds of pain and suffering and toxicity and unhealth and unwellness. Unfairness and meanness, and all manner of things that make living here quite much more arduous for many earthlings than it should be, or than it needs to be. So, since this is day 1, let's lay down some ground rules. We are going to try to keep these relatively short, aim for 10 to 15 minutes, though we do have a tendency to ramble or go off on tangents, so we will just try to keep that in check and see how that goes. We are going to be talking about our own personal perspective and our own personal feelings. So we don't catch up with the news very much. So it's not going to be a series of being commenting on current events or something like that. It's going to be more philosophical, more spiritual in nature, and it is going to be focused on a part of the world that is local to us, because that is what we know. That is Florida is about as comfortable as about as specific as I'm comfortable saying right now. So, and since this is day 1, I'll give a general overview of how we feel about the state of the world right now. We see this world as, well, a planet that has a long history of biological traditions, lineages, that has recently been shaken up by a species who found a particular combination of traits that allowed them to essentially uh, very directly manifest their ideas and their imagination as physical objects. Uh, of course, working within the limitations of that, but a way of uh, expressing and making use of creativity that uh, is, as far as we know, unprecedented in the history of this planet. This ability, allowing for this kind of expression, has led to many feedback loops within human cultures and societies, which has led to some extreme examples of what humans are capable of. Because we are influenced by our environment, and we also influence our environment. But humans very pointedly and very flexibly influence their environment. And so they're very much able to bring the energy within them out onto the environment, which then reflects back onto them. Which can lead to learning through reflection, and it can also lead to feedback loops of a few kinds. And humans, as beings, have today come to a place where they have largely forgotten or abandoned much of emotional processing, and have, at least in the West, built up an extensive infrastructure based around what is essentially comfort, convenience, and coping mechanisms. And things to distract people from their negative feelings, or to help life feel better in spite of unresolved negative feelings. But these negative feelings and these traumas, they are not just noise that feels bad. they have valuable information, and their integration and their role in one's being is is vital to one's well-being. How one relates to oneself and others. Things like setting boundaries. And so we feel that today's world is a world, at least the human world of today, which does dominate this planet. Not in the sense of like they're the dominant species, but in the sense of has a very large influence over this planet. The human world does. The human world of today is one that is being pressured from all sides. Of course, the rulers of today, the rich and the government officials, their insecurities, leading them to seek more and more power for power's sake and never be satisfied with the amount of power they have, or with themselves, with their life. So they never feel, they just hoard their wealth and use it to gain more wealth. And money, the way that human societies are set up right now, money is essentially a resource that gets you a kind of control over other humans. Of course, it's not absolute control, but it is control over the flow of resources through human society, and ultimately control over much of the actions that humans do, those who are in need of money. If you are a poorer person, if you are a poorer human, then you can then you need money to survive. And so any human with the money to give you can ask that you do whatever for that kind of money. And of course you can refuse, but of course there's the pressure of starvation, homelessness, losing your basic needs, losing access to your resources to fulfill your basic needs being blocked off from them by the violent force of the government. Through the police, the jails, whatnot. So we feel the predominant feeling that we feel of the world today is one that is being squeezed. It seems like everyone we know these days is struggling financially, to varying degrees, but more than usual, more than they're used to. And businesses continue to go to extreme lengths to maximize profit at the expense of everything else. And so many feel deeply trapped and unsatisfied in their positions within society. And they feel they work their body to the bone only to get little more than enough to get by. There's this pressure coming in. And humans have been incredibly resilient to it. They've put up with the pressure, they've adapted, they've changed their ways, they've made sacrifices just because it's either that or death. But the pressure keeps building, and you can't hold against it forever. Something's got to give. And to us, it feels like we're on the precipice of something giving in that way. Of course, something gives, there's some sort of breakthrough in small ways all around the world every day, but something on a more global scale. A shift in what humans are willing to accept and what humans are willing to do to have freedom, be able to do what they really want. That doesn't really work that well as an overview of our feelings about the world, because there's so much that has been left out of that. I don't know if we could sum up our feelings about the state of the world uh, in one point like that. There's a lot of things, so that's why this is something we're doing every day instead of something that we're doing just once. But starting with the work thing, the capitalism thing, the economy thing, the industry thing, that thing going on, that seems like a good place to start. That's something we were really feeling today. There's a fucking hurricane hitting Florida today, and we have a coworker at our job who is homeless, and she could at least stay in the store until it closed due to the kindness of the managers. But it's 3 a.m. as I'm saying this. That store is probably closed. And she's probably back out on the streets right now. And thank God it's not raining right now, at least not here. Probably not over there, it's not that far away. But there are homeless humans all over the country, all over the world, who, for one reason or another, can't make enough money to for anyone to offer them a shelter. Give them a place to stay without them being evicted or arrested or whatever. And when there's a big storm, a heat wave, a big freeze, they gotta hope. They gotta hope and pray that either someone comes through for them, or if not, that they can make it through the night. And this would be something that is an acceptable fact of life sort of thing. Death is a part of life, and not everyone has the same level of safety. Not everyone has the same opportunities. But what makes it something horrible to us is that humans absolutely could. They absolutely could make or give houses to every human who needs a house. Their energy is instead focused on keeping people out of them who don't have the money to be there. So yeah, I can see by the clock we've already gone well over 15 minutes, and this is a daily thing. You know, these videos don't have to be a be-all, end-all for everything, and they couldn't be. So, for now, I'm going to leave it at that, and yeah, that's the end of day 1. Thank you for watching. Peace be with you. Be well. Be joyful. And be proud of who you are. Take care.